I began my broadcast career as a Ryerson Radio and Television Arts summer intern at See How in Welland, Ontario, where I read news and hosted a late evening disc jockey show. In the fall, with no money to go back to Ryerson and finish my third year, I landed a job at CKLB in Oshawa, Ontario, as a newsreader and an evening disc jockey. After 2 years in Oshawa, it was on to CFGM in Richmond Hill, where I spent 3 years as the afternoon newsman. In 1965, Chum News director Bill Driley hired me as the newsman on the all-night shift with Bob Lane. The Chum stay was a short one, lasting but a year. CFTO-TV hired me as a TV news reporter. Now this eventually grew into a 7-day-a-week job when I took on the added duties of an on-air anchor for the weekend news. After 10 years with CFTO-TV, it was time for another move, and this time it was over to the local CBC station, CBLT in Toronto. After so much time on the air, I decided to try the editorial side of broadcasting and took the job as a news lineup editor for the late evening news and subsequently the early evening 6 p.m. newscast. After several years of editorial lineup on the early evening news, I moved on to the position of news producer for the early and the late editions of the evening news. The news producer's job included the added function of producing provincial leadership conventions, provincial elections, and municipal elections. Thrown in for good measure, producing a half-hour weekly interview show called Dateline Ontario that centered on the legislative happenings at Queen's Park. The next move was on to a management position at CBC as resource manager for CBLT. 2 years later, in 1990, the CBC decided to shut down the local station and offered early retirement packages to many of the staff. I took advantage of a generous offer and retired from the corporation after 17 years. Next, it was back to college. I enrolled in Seneca College, where I graduated with a teaching certificate in adult education. A recruiter for the North York Board of Education offered me a teaching position upon graduation, and this was eventually followed by an offer from the Toronto Board of Education to teach in their adult education program. After 20-odd years of teaching, I'm still at it.